a circus. What do the version notes say about this version? It means that there's dragons! What? There's dragons? There's no way that can be right. And hello, gamers all over the world, because there are dragons in version 1.81. Yeah! Way to go, Jibs. He promised and he delivered. Man, I would vote for that, man. And now, moving on to something awesome, our replay. Welcome to LittleWarGames episode 7, where we're going to show what happens when you take dragons and you add more dragons, and what exactly happens from there. And because they're dragons, we're going to be talking about them as well. So now we go into the loading of the replay. Oh yeah, replay is getting loaded. What did I save this as? Oh yeah, I saved it as Slammer S4 versus Jibs, D&D for Dragons and Dragons, not to be confused with any dungeons. And it's Slammer 4, not Jarvan or Jay for any of you League of Legends people. Anyways, here we go. This is a pretty long game, so we're gonna move through a good portion of it. We're gonna alternate ×2, ×3 speed, and we're gonna have S4. There we go. Now I gotta go to full screen. Yay! We have S4, which is an amazing game and you should play it sometime, versus Jibs, Wooten Jibs, creator of the game, go Jibs. We're gonna go to ×2. Now they're both going to start pretty simply. We're gonna see some early game poking and shenanigans, but it's going to seem pretty familiar. They're both going to do a 6 expand. 6 expand, if you're not familiar with it, is actually the most economical expand you can do in the game. And we're going to ×2 this, but what happens is around 38 or 40 seconds, you send over a worker, and then at 47 seconds, look at this. Look at this. Jibs shows us how it's done. You create this castle, and then you think, oh, we'll have to stop construction. Nope. Your money is going to continue right up to 60. And you can continue worker production. Damn, that's good. Now, S4, Mr. Slammer of the number 4. Apparently, Slammers 1 through 3 gave up their name for him. He's going to be doing the same thing. And now we're going to be seeing the scouting. Not scouters. We're not measuring relevant power levels, but they're going about some scouting. This is important if you're doing a 6 expand, since it is a very, I think even the most economical opening that you can have. There are any number of things that can put you in a world of hurt. Proxy towers, proxy catapults, proxy workshops that get up towers that they can then get catapults, proxy barracks, 2 proxy barracks, just 2 barracks in general. And so they sent out a unit about 1:15 to go see what all the people see. Now, there's some shenanigans over here. Jibs is getting stopped up. Now, Slammer 4 is going to get his guy into the base around 2:30. We'll slow down, take a look over. Now, in general, oh look, bam, Slammer 4 sees that Jibs has a castle, and very shortly Jibs is going to see the same. In general, if you're going castle first, and the other guy is doing something that does not consist of making another castle, you want to put up a watchtower immediately. But, here we're going to go to R and see what they're doing. But since no one is doing anything funny, and they just agreed in-game kind of that they're both going to play like gentlemen and sit back and take this to the long way. Not building any towers. Now, Jibs right here is building a tower. Now this is curious because in about 3 minutes you establish your tech choice once you go castle first. Either you're going for some heavy barracks play, maybe you throw up some forges or your workshop. Slammer 4 is getting the house. He could actually afford this house a little earlier, but then it wouldn't finish in such a way that he'd have the money to put down a barracks immediately. So this watchtower looks very circumspect if you're just looking at it from Jib's perspective. Well, this is his time to establish a tech route. Why is he going to build a tower? And prior to version 1.8, indeed, we would be looking at Jibs and kind of wondering what he's on. Not drug-wise, but just what he's thinking, what his thought process is. But we have 2 new units. And here we go. With this tower completed, Jibs knows that his opponent, if he's going for some kind of barracks shenanigans, if Slammer 4 is sending barracks units, which indeed is making barracks, this tower is well positioned enough that he can build house barracks or a house barracks and defend easily on this side, and he's getting a fortress. Now, as a version 1.7, belay that, as a version 1.81, fortresses are amazing. They're 250 gold, and it takes about, I believe, 80 seconds, a little over a minute, and it transforms your castle, bing, 1,400 hit points, into the fortress, which has 1,800 hit points and has the same range and attack damage and attack speed as the watchtower. So effectively, it's a slightly more expensive and time-consuming super watchtower. Now, poor Slammer 4, like, he built, around 3 minutes, he built this house, and then he built a barracks. And because he's going barracks, he knows that the very worst his opponent could be doing is going house, barracks, barracks. If he's only planning on going one barracks, which he is, then it's easy for him to justify something like, oh, well, I'm going to go ahead then and just put one barracks down, but then I'm going to put a tower, and I'll just keep at it with riflemen, and I'll be good to go. Oh, man, poor Slammer 4. I don't know if that was an accident or what happened, but he was about even with Jibs, and then he canceled this one, started here, canceled, and started here. Now, look, Jibs is about to finish his fortress, and here's what fortresses allow us to make. Look how impressive that looks. Oh, sweet. Dragon's Lair. Ah, because you know why? Dragons can fly, and I hear flying is good. Dragons are actually the fastest unit in the game, and they're now, along with catapults, the only units in the game that also take benefits from disproportionate upgrades. So look at the double dragon that's going on here from Jibs. He's playing it solo, but he's still playing arcade-style double dragon. What? Woo to anyone who gets that reference. It was really obscure and bad. I'm sorry. So here we go. We have Slammer 4 on his barracks. He's slightly delayed. He's going to be making two Dragon's Lairs as well. But look what he's doing. He cranked out a rifleman. If we go to Q, we see he has a rifleman. And he's putting out some soldiers. And I actually like how he does this instead. It's unfortunate that he skipped out and somehow canceled this or something went wrong for him. But I think this opening where he goes the house, the barracks, then defensive structure, and then gets up a couple soldiers and a rifleman to poke is actually pretty cool. But look over here. We press the Q. No dragons yet. Dragons take 45 seconds to build, which, for reference, riflemen and soldiers take 30 seconds, but dragons cost 250 gold, and there's a couple advantages that they get. Although they have range 4, which is just one less than a rifleman, in case you were interested. Dragons are fast. Mind-numbingly fast. Like, I haven't actually checked what their movement speed is, but you'll see when we compare it to other units, that is just blazing. Now look at this. We're at normal speed right now. Here's a rifleman going up. Here's a dragon going up. My money is on the dragon to win this. Like, this is like the hare versus the tortoise if the hare decides that it's not going to take a break. Now, I actually like this SimCity out of Jibs because he's putting down these watchtowers. So he knows he's relying heavily on dragons, and this explains why he went watchtower first. If we went house and then barracks and then we went dragons, like Slammer 4 did, we'd expect that our dragons are going to be a complement to our army, that they're going to, be able to put in some work on their own, but they're there to be part of the army, not to be the entire army. Whereas for Jibs, we see by going watchtower, then getting his house and barracks while his fortress was going up, then getting double dragons out of Dragon's Lairs, we see that his emphasis is for a heavy, hard-hitting harass. So if his opponent is not going rifleman or does not have dragons of his own, which he's about to have, he can go and harass this worker line. Now, just for an idea of how harassment works with dragons, it takes about 3 dragons, roughly, with micro, to take out a watchtower, assuming there's no repairing going on. And look at this. Look at some dragon stats. If you remember, soldiers have 125 hit points, and that's pretty beefy. Dragons have almost double that. They have 220. They do 12 damage apiece, and like catapults, they get disproportionate benefits from upgrades. So they get 1.5 for every one that they go, for every weapons upgrade, but only 1 for every armor upgrade. And as you can see, because of the way that he went dragons first, before barracks, he was prioritizing them, and he had that defensive watchtower to make sure he had the time for it. Jibs is superior in the air superiority count, but Slimer 4 doing a good job keeping things back and forth. He pulled the workers off the line because they look at how low their health was getting. He's gonna set up this watchtower, and then he's gonna be safe. Now, what that did buy is about 900 gold for Jibs, as he kept all of these workers out and away. But let's notice something important that was happening in the background. Slammer 4 apparently has come from the future with genius strategies from like professional LittleWarGame tournaments, because I don't know how he thought that this was a brilliant idea, but it was. Whereas Jibs is going for some riflemen, some soldiers, and he has a heavy dragon army. Look, 4-2. Dragons take up 5 supply, by the way. So if you see that, oh look, Jibs is 57 and Slammer 4 has 39, this is a complete garbage. Well, it's actually not. Dragons just take up 5 each. So if you take away the 2 dragons, it's really 47 to 39. It's pretty close, actually. Now, riflemen are a good. You would think, theoretically, theory crafting, riflemen are good, because 2 riflemen are roughly equal to 1 dragon in combat. But Slammer 4 is an insane genius, and he got out a very quick Mages Guild. He said, alright, I recognize that I have barracks, and you don't. I'm going to be low in the dragon count, but my dragons are going to be incredibly efficient. My dragons are going to be like the difference between the basic stock car and your finishing car in Gran Turismo 5. They're going to be hyper effective. And he got this Mages Guild and researched heal. Now, mages with dragons are scary. Now look at this. By force of arms, Jibs is capable by a 2 dragon advantage and pretty heavy infantry advantage to grab a hold of his 3rd a little earlier. He could have started around the 9-minute mark. He's cranking out more dragons. It all looks good. Meanwhile, Slammer 4 is about to show us how it's done. Look, he's coming over here to take the 3rd base. Maybe I'm in the wrong part of the replay. I'm pretty sure he gets over here. Yeah, he's about to take his 3rd base. And we're going to speed this up. This is what happens. Look at this. 4 dragons to 2. Dragons do a lot of damage. But heal is 20 mana to heal 50 hit points. And when dragons have that many hit points, that's a lot of healing. Oh, look, nice pickup by Slammer 4. Look at that death animation. Oh, that's so cool. You're awesome, Jibs. Now, because here's a couple notes about Dragon Mage, and this will be borne out throughout the game. Dragon Mage is exceptionally, mind-blowingly, face-crunchingly effective. It's stupidly good. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, you need to find a new Richter scale.